Hey everyone, welcome to Locked In, the channel that brings the best college football intel to the modern fan. We appreciate all of you who've watched our channel and would love for you to become part of the channel by clicking the subscribe button. This will help us become more visible on YouTube and help us achieve our goal of raising football IQs everywhere through in depth analysis in plain English. Thanks everyone. Stay locked in. Hey everyone, the Locked In crew is back at it again. This time we're going to look at one of the hottest items going into the 24 college football season, and that is Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava. Um, Guy's almost as impressive as his name is, at least the way that it looked in the Citrus Bowl against Iowa, who had the number 4 defense going into that game. And after that, I think everybody was wondering what that ranking was about. Because the Vols certainly had a day against the Hawkeyes. So tonight, what we're going to do, this is going to be the first installment in it, probably a couple videos on Nico, especially. I mean, more so Nico than Tennessee. And what we want to do tonight is we have got every run and every pass that Nico had in the Citrus Bowl, and we want to do something a little different. We want to watch this almost on a straight through with very few pauses, as if we were a set of opposing coaches that are watching what he does. So we're looking tonight for really general things that we could say about his game. We want to see what stands out. Like, where does he impress? Where does he maybe not impress? Where does he seem maybe a little less than elite? And where do we think that maybe Josh Heupel was holding him back? Because to be honest, like we said in our preview of the Citrus Bowl, Josh Heupel had a lot on his plate with starting this young quarterback. Because if things went wrong, I think everybody, at least in our neck of the woods, knows that Tennessee has a pretty rabid fan base. I mean, heck, they got a head coach, fired before he ever even showed up. So it could have turned out badly, but for the Vols, it turned out as well as it possibly could have. So let's go ahead and roll this film and see what that we're seeing in Mr. Nico. First play, trips with motion.
I mean, not a hard throw to make, just a little get it out there, get it out quick, get it to an
Good first
athlete to go
one.
make a play.
Get your confidence in.
So we see a hitch
Same
right here
thing
on the
here.
outside.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Keep it
Simple,
simple.
simple air raid play, all hitches, building confidence. It's exactly what you do.
I mean, it's first quarter, start of the game. Here a little shovel. I mean, Samson drops it there, but I mean that's a good idea.
Yeah.
He's very intuitive. I mean, I'm impressed by that.
It's
There you
another
go.
little hitch.
And you know what I like about that is he hit that wide receiver instead of hitting that back in the flat, and you ended up picking up a lot more yardage than he otherwise would have.
Mm-hmm.
He
Sitting up in the pocket,
follows
good.
he follows through on his motion there with the running back really well.
The
He
tight
This is
he
the
window throw
first of
right
several.
there.
This is the first of several times that you see his receivers let him down.
Oof.
had to get that one out.
Yeah, pass rush in his face. Not much you
Yeah,
can do there.
At least he's not
it,
taking a
it,
sack like they do in Colorado.
it was smart. It was smart tossing to that guy. Boy, that's
It's
one
a
I think
good
right there.
Bad drop.
good throw
I'll
over the
tell you,
middle.
number nine let him down several times. He was the one who missed that earlier one.
Yep.
Say Ramel Keaton has let Joe Milton down all year too.
Yeah, he has. He's inconsistent. He has really good play action fakes. That's one of
Yeah,
the things
that's
that I
that's what
like
I was
about him. He's
just
got a
saying.
good turn.
He follows through with the like with the running back action really well too. I mean, he stays in there a while.
Good way to get out of bounds. He's good with his feet. I mean, boy,
He
I think he looks awful skinny. Maybe he's not as skinny as he appears to be. Okay, this is a designed run. This is a quarterback ISO, and man, don't they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they do is they just expose Iowa's defense. Iowa wanted to keep two high safeties, and when you keep two high safeties and the team goes in trips, that means you got one linebacker in the middle. You put number 6 through there,
Came
linebacker
down.
misses, so he smartly goes to the safety. 6 points.
Yeah, and I mean Nico I think is about 200 pounds. He's like 6'6". I mean he's a skinny guy. So I think he'll need to put some more weight on him. He's already put about 15, 20 pounds on him.
Roll that one back. Just I know we're trying to go through them, but roll that one back. Man, I want you to watch. I want you to watch what he does a little bit more to the beginning of the play, and pause it. Here's what I want you to watch on this next pass. So just go ahead and pause it. Good play action fake. Iowa is set up over here. He possibly could have thrown to one of these underneath the receivers. But if you look at what he does, he fakes that handoff. He sees that these guys are too close for comfort over the twin receivers over here. and then he goes back knowing that he has the play action fake is going to pull the linebacker out of the curl window.
Mm-hmm.
That is dadgum impressive. Watch what he does. Watch his face mask through this play. Fake, looks outside, immediately, bam. Now, he could have thrown it a little quicker. That first hitch, I think he could have thrown it.
Yep.
But boy, was that an impressive pass, and he picked up a lot of yards.
And I mean, he's good on his feet. The only thing I worry about is him just taking bigger hits. In the SEC games, more consistent hits and like constant hits. I feel like that'd wear down
To
his,
get out of
on his
bounds.
body. Yeah, he don't need to be taking a lot of hits.
This, if you watch Tennessee much, this play right here is an absolute sucker play. They get on the goal line. Tennessee likes to run that dart play. They could have ran 34 and 54 back to the right side with Sampson underneath them, like a little counter almost. And so Iowa slanted hard that way, and Nico just ran that sweep. Dude can run a football.
You see a
Good
lot of
execution.
underneath
Ooh, he should have
passes
caught it.
though, whether it be screens or hitches. So you just see a
So,
lot of things.
just question on this, Rev. What do you think? Do you think on all these underneath passes, do you think that could be a problem, or do you think that Heupel was just trying to uh, keep the game well in hand and not expose him to turnover risk?
Yeah, I mean Iowa, despite getting torn up a little bit in this game, they've had a good defense all year. So I think it's a good idea to protect your freshman quarterback who's not thrown the ball downfield this season against a team who does produce picks, especially in the middle of the field, down the field. So it's also not just short routes. Almost all these routes, except he's had a couple slants, but those were dropped. So most of all those completions that we're seeing here are all to the boundary, like they're all to the sidelines. They're hitches, screens, they're quick stuff to keep him comfortable, to stop any shenanigans going on, deeper down the field, and also stop any crazy stuff that's going on in the middle of the field. It's definitely calculated.
Sure.
I mean, does does him protecting him mean that you know Nico can't throw the deep ball? No, I don't think so. Does he? I don't know because I haven't seen practice film of him, so I'm not sure. If he does have problems sometimes with his accuracy down the field, but
Well, everything else he does so well.
yes,
Whoever's trained this kid, that's who you need to send your child to if you got a prodigy quarterback. But here's a question too. What do you think about this, Chance? Because I mean, you're kind of one of those crazy like a fox people like me. Is this not a good strategy to
See,
completely screw your first opponents that matter next year?
my
Like
thing
if
is,
you
you're not giving anybody anything about
that's
Nico. It's
yep,
just like this
that's
dude couldn't
exactly
push
it.
all they're thinking. This dude couldn't push the ball down the field to save his life. Because I mean,
Yeah, this is sly.
I don't think the ball goes more than 15 yards all game. Which I mean, it's smart football. Play to your strengths. They wanted to win this game. They didn't want people to overreact about Nico, and like tear him down. Say he throws a pick,
Sure.
the fan base turns on him, and
use your speed
all
advantage.
all of a
Now,
sudden the fan base turns and Nico's moving off campus and in a mental
yeah,
ward because he's about to, do things, do bodily harm to himself. I mean, that's what happens
violence
at.
to oneself.
That's what happens in Knoxville. I mean, it does with their quarterbacks, and they don't stay long. It's just tended to
With
happen.
now, with that aside, here's something I think that if I were a defensive coordinator, I would look for, and this might be something that doesn't strike people as being important. I would look to see the amount of times that Nico throws uh, screens to the wide receivers to the field, where he is on the far hash and he throws across. I would like to see because Heupel keeps those receivers wide.
Yep.
If he can throw a ball from the far hash and hit a receiver at the bottom of the numbers, you better look out.
That's still a long throw despite not many
That's a
yards.
very long throw. You don't think about that
Yep.
until you try to call it in a game. You're like, "Ooh, we better rethink our strategy."
Right.
If he can make that throw, I haven't seen it yet. And I've watched this pretty closely, but I haven't paid attention to that. That's just something we ought to look at. Go ahead and roll it some more.
See, and one of my things with this also is, I mean, you think about it, and Nico just, I think you didn't see a lot of man coverage being played by Iowa. So I'd like to see Nico fit that ball into tighter windows. You don't really see it much here, but so
Yeah.
when man coverage is up against Tennessee, I think Nico will have to make better throws.
And they're not the team you want to run deep zone again.
No, and the other thing too
Watch,
is like
watch,
if you
watch,
don't,
watch him run that straight line.
that
Watch
is
him
a
run that
ball.
straight line.
And
Yeah,
And watch
that
his
was
throw.
his best ball
Sweet
game.
mercy.
and it was inbounds. He called it. That was his best ball all game.
Something that really stands out to me is when he makes his escape. He doesn't belly out. He runs straight down the line. That makes it so much harder for defenders to get you. That throw, like that throw, this obviously that one, but this one right here, the way that the team reacts. I mean, just watch the sideline. Like, he goes ahead. Watch him. He sprints down the line, straight, 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 straight.
Eyes downfield.
Hitches when that receiver or that defensive back comes up, makes his throw. But I want you to watch the sideline. That's not a big reaction.
Yep, it's like they've been. That's
That
normal. They see
is
that all
a
the time.
nuts throw. They are seeing this every single day.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, that was the best place ball I thought he threw all game.
It's true.
So there's your him throwing into a tight window right there. He made it. That's a Michael Penix throw.
So you can literally see that ball dip when it falls off into the bucket, as people will say, as a fine play. Man, that right there should get you fired up if you're a Tennessee guy, or if you just like football in general.
Yeah, and good job by the receiver to bring his hands late. Iowa playing that zone coverage, he didn't even react until he had the ball in his hands.
Like we said earlier, I'd like to see him more consistent. I think he'd be good for him. Hey, now.
Took a hit there, pressure in his face.
You got to get rid of the ball quicker. He just got to get rid of it quicker.
Yeah, freshman trying to make big plays happen, though.
Yeah, hold on to the ball a little longer than you want him to. But that's a long throw. Again, we're talking. That's only it's a 15-yard gain, but he's
from
on
hash to
right
the
hash,
50.
throwing to the left numbers. That's a long throw, and he makes
it
good.
No, look at this one. If you can roll that back just a second, Rev, I want you to watch his body right here. If you notice what I noticed about his just demeanor when he throws this ball. Watch this. Right. Oof. You see how well he fires out of his back
Quick
leg?
trigger. Yep.
He looks like a pitcher. I mean, it's really impressive.
He did have a false step there, though. So I think he hesitates a little in this game. I mean, it's first time playing though, so I mean, he'll get better at it.
Sure it is. He's nervous about it. He doesn't want to throw that pick. There's your deep ball.
Yeah, Ramel Keaton just stopped running.
He stopped.
He didn't help him out.
Yeah, and he just laughs it off.
See where this ball lands.
Oh, it would have landed perfect.
Right where you want it. So there's your deep ball. And he's saying, hey, just keep running.
Are you kidding me?
That's a little bit of a tighter window. I mean, just still a bunch of underneath stuff. I think Iowa's defense probably should have played differently. At least changed it up, because I mean, Tennessee did the same thing all game. I don't know why.
Good escape right there.
That's what I was going to say. If I know that they didn't push the ball downfield, but they didn't need to. If the defense is letting you do this over and over and over again, just keep taking it.
This is a good one right here.
Yep.
I'll tell you what I love about this play.
We'll run it back.
I am a sucker for the reverse out handoff. Watch what he does. Reverses out. ISO going the other way. Looks at him right there when he turns his head. That freezes this outside linebacker. That guy playing on the end of the defensive line up here just freezes that sucker long enough that he can make it. Now, here's where I think you see that Nico's hand is kind of held a bit. Watch both these tight ends, 87 and 89, just running a typical 89 runs a cute little route right there. That's good for a big guy. Both of them are open.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Guys are a little too close to the window, and he's not going to throw that pick.
Right.
So he goes ahead and takes it in. He freezes this outside man closest to him. He lets those other guys pass through with the receivers. Doesn't risk a throw there. Ain't no way in this world number 94 is going to catch him before he makes it to the end zone. That's a smart play. That's his third rushing touchdown.
Yeah, you can see where like you said, the hand is being held, but he's also still making good decisions within that. If you don't have to risk the crazy good play by the DB making a pick and you can run it in. There's no reason to throw that ball if you don't have to.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Did a good job taking advantage of what Iowa was giving them.
So. Yeah, and Iowa does have the best coverage defense in college football, I'd say, with their disguises and just how they run it. So I know they had a few notable opt-outs, but still the scheme is there.
I tell you what wears me out about them, though. I think that they give a little too much room.
Too much
space. They do. I think they thought that Tennessee was going to try to beat them over top. But I mean,
The
they've never
no,
saw Nico before, so they
sure.
figured
No, I
that he'd
understand
air it
that. Yeah,
out. So I mean, I get
that's a
it.
really good point. That's a really good point.
But at the same time, it's like once they've done the same thing for at least two
Yeah,
drives, change it. I said
adjust. Yep.
they didn't change till the fourth quarter, and at that point, it's way too late.
And that seems like it's become a trend with Iowa. They
Yeah, I
just
would
don't
like that ball
change.
to get out quicker, but other
Yeah, I
than
would
that,
too.
I mean, that's a lot of these plays. If he will throw the ball half a second quicker, he's on it because the ball finds its spot. I mean, he's on target. He makes good decisions. I just like to see that release quicker. But again, first game, that's gonna he's also kind
Yeah,
of reading everything. The idea of throwing that pick is in his head, so he's making sure, double checking before he releases that ball that that's a good window to throw to.
but I'm
Yeah,
pretty confident that he's going to have that release. And I tell you,
Agree.
just from that picture right there, you got to say from the stats picture, just looking at this kid, um, this I mentioned it earlier when Rev and I talked about the Citrus Bowl. That doesn't look like a quarterback for Tennessee. Simply does not. And I say that to say this: Josh Heupel has pulled some players in. He has really pulled some players in, and I'm a Tennessee guy. I think I've said that before. I might not be the most rabid fan ever, but I'm a Tennessee guy. I've got a lot of ties up there, and the more I watch this game, the more impressed I am. I'm really eager to see what he does because I believe how far do you dive into the hype? Who knows? Let it play out. But I think that Tennessee's got him a real player right here.
yeah, I think that Tennessee, while they didn't air out the ball, and it was still an impressive win. Made good throws. Let's say they
Yeah.
build up for their future. Say Nico got some valuable game time reps, some big time, big boy plays there. So I think Tennessee has a good future ahead of them with Nico, and that next year they'll probably. I said he probably would have been better than Milton this year, and next year it'll show. But I look forward to seeing Nico and what he can do. I just think they need to put a little more weight on him if he's going to run the ball more.
Yeah, I think so too. Because that's obviously he's obviously an instinctive runner. It's something because I guarantee you, man, the Georgias and the Alabamas of the world, if they get a chance, they're going to light this dude up.
Yeah, especially
And maybe he can take it. Because Josh Dobbs, he was a skinny dude and he ran a lot. But I mean, it's boy, I don't know, running quarterbacks scare me.
yeah, and you got to think too. I said with the, I mean it's going to matter a lot on Nico next year. I said he's going to have the weight of the world on his shoulders because his
Yeah,
receivers aren't as good as a lot of teams' defensive backs.
yeah.
So unless their receivers just somehow blow up next year, and I doubt they will, you should have to see Nico have the weight of the world on his shoulders to win games and make throws. And I think that puts Nico in a bad position. So I mean, I don't think we'll get to see Nico at full go until he gets some better receivers starting, like some of their new recruits.
Well, something I think is really interesting, and I think that it hurt in that Military Bowl for Tulane. Chris Brazil is a good wide receiver, and I think if you ever go back and watch, say he makes some good catches in the SMU game, with Tulane SMU in the championship game. That guy's going to help out because I think right now he is better than any receiver that
Oh,
Tennessee has. And
100%.
and
I agree.
they also picked up his little brother. He
Mm-hmm.
committed the other day. And so I think that that Heupel's well aware of what he has and what he doesn't have. So I'm confident they can get that receiver room built back up because they did take a big loss. And I know that Keaton has he's had similar numbers past 2 years. Squirrel White I think is a pretty solid receiver. But Squirrel White is not Cedric Tillman or Jalen Hyde. It just simply is not. You can't replace guys like that. And I think, we saw that this year. So I'm looking forward to see what happens next year. It's going to be a young bunch. They ought to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, I don't
Anything
think
else, gentlemen?
so. Look forward to Tennessee next year, but what'll be even more special is the year after. And I look to
Yeah,
see them make a push into the 12-team playoff since that starts next year. So future looks
definitely.
bright, bright orange in Tennessee, I guess you'd say.
That's right. Big Orange.
With that being said, for the locked in crew, this is Lock Rev and Chance. Everybody stay locked in.
Everyone here at Locked In wants to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed to, liked, and commented on our channel. We've had a blast bringing great college football analysis to you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. If you want to share your thoughts, we'd love to see your comments. Till next time, stay locked in.